Chairman. Just two clarifications. The first is that it's hard not for some to see as a form of carry trade, whereby the government is borrowing at 2.5%, 4% from Singaporeans, while the GIC makes 7%, both of which in the long term. And so the question is, if we already have the CPF IS, can we not allow Singaporeans to co-invest part of their savings? Second, on the LRIS, I recognize the Minister's point about risk, and that was what DPM mentioned as well. But in the advisory panel report, they have also noted that this can be overcome via the use of the glide path of the life cycle fund. And so would the Minister not agree that with the implementation of the LRIS, at least based on the numbers they suggested, this would be beneficial for Singaporeans in the long term?
I think on the first part, in terms of the difference between the GIC returns, that both, I think, Mr. Chua and also Ms. Hazelpah talked about, and in terms of the differential rate, I think this has actually been discussed earlier at the debate on the motion of public finances on the 7th of February. I don't want to go too much into the detail, but it's always very easy from the point of investment to look at hindsight, because hindsight is perfect. I mean, I've done investments, a lot of investments in my past life. There are a lot of, I should have done this, I should have done that. I think we need to understand that while GIC's historical 20-year returns have exceeded CPF interest rates, this is really looking at it backwards. And above all, I think, Mr. Chua, you're an analyst, a financial analyst. It's always very good to look at past historical records, but to make a projection in the future, I seriously wonder how many people can be that spot on and precise in terms of projecting future returns and on a guaranteed basis. So back to the point, right? The 20 years of historical returns, even though GIC have exceeded CPF interest rates, there's no guarantee that GIC's future returns will always exceed CPF interest rates in every year. So if we pass some of these returns directly to members, you would then appreciate the fact that there would be significant year-to-year fluctuations in the interest rate that members receive. So what the government has done, I wanted to set that basic principle. So what the government has done is that it has used our buffer of net assets to ensure that CPF members receive fair and stable interest rates to grow CPF balances for retirement adequacy. So that's the underlying principle. And I've said before that our core priority always remains, and first and foremost, since we started in 1955, the three core priorities: to fund retirement adequacy for our members, to provide housing, and healthcare. These are the three. Now, to your LRIS point, we said we are not putting it in abeyance. We have considered, and we continue to consider, in terms of making sure that the returns are stable. The last 3 to 4 years, you, as an analyst, would also agree with me, do you not, that we have gone through an extremely uncertain and volatile period. I mean, I take your nodding of the head as a yes, right? Many investors in equities have been burnt. For us, it is making sure that the hard-earned monies of every single one of our CPF members, we try to go to the nth degree to try to make sure that it is stable. We try to make sure that we reduce as much of the volatility and the risk itself as possible. Maybe, if anything at all, if you want to sort of put it as a fault, I don't think it's a fault, is that we are very, very cautious because these are our members' hard-earned monies. So I hope that you acknowledge and you understand that. Thank you.